In this episode, we knock out some additional patchwork needed on the Charger and also get it through sandblasting and discover a couple other issues throughout some of the body parts. Yeah. What's going on, guys? So I briefly am hanging the fenders just to get an idea of how far off they are, and also gives me an idea of where my door needs to be lined up. So I'm a little far forward, the door doesn't fully open now, so I have to suck back this gap a bit. However, it does start to actually look like a real car again, which is great because I haven't seen it like this since when I first got it. We actually took the fenders off right away because it was sitting in my driveway before I had the garage here, and we were afraid people were going to steal the fenders, which is crazy because these fenders are extremely beat up, as you can tell. Rust all the way throughout, all bent up. There's tons and tons of Bondo on these, and unfortunately people still want them because they're not reproduced. So it's been a busy week, or a couple weeks for me. Hasn't been a while since I've released a video, but hopefully I'll kind of show you the progress that I've made. It's not been as much as it seems it should be, but essentially I still need to do a bunch of work back here in the trunk, getting everything welded in. I still have certain other parts I got to clean up back here. Some of these back areas that I've done some welding on to try to get everything mated up on the back, because if you remember at the end of the last episode, everything was just screwed in. So I'll quickly go through and show everything that we've done. I got a bunch of new parts in as well, which I'll walk over and show you now. That the guy I used for these parts is local for me, and he can kind of source together and knows people who have the parts, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. So I have completely redone transmission braces, pedal assembly. I'm going to reassemble the tail lights here. Also have 2 bumpers to choose from for the rear, and then I still have some other stuff that I have to go through, but some other pedals. I have bunches of screw kits and everything else. So hopefully progress will go a little bit faster than it has the last, I think it's been probably 3, almost 4 weeks. But other than that, here's everything else I've been working on. So it actually came out pretty good. The hard part that we're going to have is we're trying to utilize the all metal almost like a body filler. So this all metal is going to be used to build up and smooth this out. And obviously this is completely sandable and it will be worked and smoothed out. But that way you can see there's a little bit of a change in gap here, just because that's how the piece of metal came through, and this corner piece. So what we'll do is we're building this up. We're trying to keep that body line, and then I'll go in with some good grit sandpaper, sand it down as I need to, recreate that line as I need to, and that corner is going to be structurally sound. So I have it being held in by welds already, which I've welded and ground, but I want to make sure that it looks proper and it's smooth and everything else, so we'll do the all metal trick. need light. So we're at the point now, loading the car up, get it over to media blasting, so that way I can get rid of all of this and see what's actually underneath it. Alright, so I am waiting for the car to come back from sandblasting. I actually sent it out yesterday or last night. They're already done with it, already on their way back. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully there's not too much rust that was uncovered. My main goal is to get it out of this bay behind me and over to our other bay. Now this one, the main point of this that we have eventually is to do all of our primer and all of our spraying on this once we can get all of these parts, made of mine and his, put onto the cars. Right now, we are simply just waiting for the cars to show up, or mine for right now. I'm going to rust encapsulate the parts that now are exposed metal, and anything that I need to start doing welding on, I can start patching, whether it be with all metal or cutting and actually doing like patchwork. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully there's some part of a car left. All right. Show you guys how everything turned out. Let's take a look. So there's quite a bit of damage or rust that occurred on the hood here. See a lot of the pitting, fenders, tons and tons of dents. You can kind of see with the shadows. So those are going to be a pain to work. I mean, just trying to show you how many dents are actually in there. This one, which is the passenger side, inside actually isn't too bad. Obviously a lot of pitting that's occurring. Trying to get that clear with the light, but for the most part is actually not too bad, or at least not unworkable. The driver's side though, however, is pretty bad. So came through, lots and lots of pitting in the middle. Tire sections that have gone through pretty much all the way around the front. Lower valance came out looking good. They did both sides on that. They did headlight areas on those. So overall, not too bad. And then go look at the car. So the car came out pretty good. Here it is here. But it looks dramatically better. Let me see if I can get some light on here. Maybe I can actually show you guys a little bit more on how good it actually is. What it actually is. Alright, so kind of make sure you can see it all. Came out really good. There's not really a lot of issues with it that I've seen. A few minor little patches that need to occur, specifically down here's one. It has a about a similar size issue on the driver door, but they did top on the roof, they did along the window channels all the way around. They ended up hitting the window channels on the back as well to really help that. I mean, honestly, I couldn't be happier. I mean, it came out, the body came out better than I thought it would, but the hood came out worse. I didn't expect that much damage on the hood. But now we're going to start doing so after all that, now we're going to start doing our patch panels, trying to clean up what we can, and hopefully try to get it ready for encapsulator within maybe the next week or two. Thank God I live in Texas where there's never rain, or at least not very much, so in turn This will be low humidity. I'm not worried about surface rust, and we can make some pretty good progress on it pretty quickly here. Now that this is actually hard, let's go through with a little die grinder, smooth all this down, see how it looks. I think I'm gonna have to add a couple more layers, but hopefully it should work out pretty well. So I tried to wet sand these. They didn't work very well. The paint that I'm using doesn't like to wet sand very well. So in order to get a little bit more shine out of it, I'm thinking about just hitting it with a gloss clear coat and seeing if I can get some shine that way. My main concern though is obviously as it heats up, making sure that it's not going to affect that clear coat. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to go through and remove all of the old gasket that I have. So I have a kit where I have a replacement foam gasket. I also have a rubber seal. I think the rubber seal goes on the outside towards the lens. I'll have to look into it though. But regardless, I know that this does need to come off because as you can tell, it's not very thick anymore. And in turn, that's really going to affect whether or not it actually is working. So very simply, I'm just going to use my finger, go around, and as you can tell, it just comes up. It'll come up in pieces, it's brittle, but it does peel up. So that way I can go through, clean what I need to, respray down some spray adhesive, lay back down on the new foam gasket. Alright guys, it's going to end the video for this time. Hopefully in the next couple videos you're going to see the breakdown of the 440, see maybe where we can figure out where it went wrong, and then also just continuation of the Charger. If you like, subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe. Tell me why you don't. And if you want, tell me in the comments section what to go a little bit maybe more in depth in case some of you have any questions. But until next time.